Hello, Luca. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How about you, Pablo?
No, I'm great here. I was just reading the news, and I have a couple of news that I wanted to share with you and with our community,
Sounds
both
great.
related with Amazon. Super interesting. The first one is that Amazon is going to change their policies on titles, which is impacting 100% of the sellers worldwide. So, and sellers and vendors. So please pay attention to this one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Amazon AI will take over some decisions that now you are still on time to take. And the second one, Luca, I wanted to comment a little bit about Prime Day results and the impact of AI. So Alexa for shopping.
Yeah,
Okay.
we just got out of it, so that's a hot topic of the week, I would say.
Let's go for it then, no?
Yeah, sure.
Super important news. So many years ago, Amazon changed their policy on titles and reduced it to 200 characters. Now Amazon is taking another super big decision. That is, they are changing their title structure, and the title will shrink from 200 characters to 75 characters. This is the official statement. Starting July 27, 2026, title in all categories except for all media will need to be 75 characters or less, including spaces. This ensures that your title will fully display on mobile and is consistent with the title length used by other online stores. So, okay, breathe a little bit. Let me keep reading because it has a second part, okay? And then we comment. Second one is item highlights. New concept here, okay? So pay attention. Provides an additional 125 characters for sharing materials or recommended use cases that help customers compare options. This content is searchable and visible with titles in search results and on product detail pages. You can continue using your existing title until July 27th or update your title to 75 characters and add item highlights. But hold on for a second. There is a third part of it. So if and only if you haven't updated by the time end of July, those will be updated by the AI recommendation gradually. So you should expect that your title suddenly change. If you don't pay attention, you are not in the news, your titles will be shrink to 75 characters and will be redefined by Amazon AI. Wow. Okay, let's breathe. So how do you see that, Luca?
First of all, I believe it makes sense. It makes sense for the key reason is explained in the first paragraph. It is till today, titles were allowed to be 200 characters long, but on mobile, only 75 characters are shown. So this misalignment was clearly not benefiting anyone. Of course, it was benefiting us, sellers and vendors, because we had more keywords to stuff in the titles. But keyword stuffing, we learned recently, it's not a key strategy to improve your ranking anymore. Since when AI and LLM took over our searching and browsing and shopping behavior online. So coherency-wise across channels, considering considering the weight of shopping on mobile versus desktop, I think that's a move that makes a lot of sense. To be fair, I didn't expect Amazon to be so bold. So from 200 to 75, that's a hard move.
You know how they are. They do, and then they ask, or they apologize. This is typical Amazon.
Yeah. From this point of view, I think 3 weeks is a decent time frame to adapt. I know there's sellers and vendors out there that have thousands of listings, but today, leveraging AI, I think it's fairly easy to update, to think about it, about the strategy on how to shrink your titles and adapt them to these new rules. I'm very curious about what will happen on this key highlights section, because today in Amazon US, for example, this is a drop-down menu section where we have the good old bullet points in there. So it will be interesting to see whether these key highlights will be enlarged. So on top of the bullet points, we will have this extra, subtitle section, or rather if this will be split in two, or rather if we need to abandon bullet points.
Nobody knows. Nobody has seen it yet. However, that's how I picture that. That's my personal opinion. And if they implement it like that, I believe it could be a good idea. Like, instead of having one title that is very long, you will be having a title and a subtitle. That's how I consider that. So the title will be 75 characters, visible on mobile, good. And then you will be having a subtitle that is adding up kind of like technical specs, use cases, etc. But this is more or less how our titles are composed today, but it will be just split in two. And as you said, the first part being visible in mobile, it makes sense. The second part, kind of like a subtitle, it also makes sense. So I would picture that like kind of like the title, 75 characters will be as the title today, and then below it will be slightly smaller, a subtitle, and then the rest of the content of the PDP as it is today.
It would be interesting on I think the customer experience on mobile would be interesting. So whether this will be visible or whether you need to open a tab, because this affects a lot the visibility on this second part.
No, if they need to open a tab, basically, I believe the UI is broken. It's like, okay.
Well, that's the experience today with on desktop. That's the experience today with bullet points. So I mean, I don't know. We'll find out. On the other hand, I think this simplifies and makes much more coherent the experience in search, because today titles that are longer than 75 or 100 characters, they get cut in search. So the second part of the title is not written there. So you end up browsing for products and you read titles, then at some point they get interrupted. So either you have to mouse over if you're on desktop to read the full title, or you have to click on the page. I feel tomorrow with these 75 characters, they will squeeze into the search page as well. So making the full search page cleaner and more coherent.
And what do you think it will be the impact for algorithms and Amazon Alexa for shopping? Because that's the main doubt for the most kind of like people into Amazon is, okay, is this going to change how the algorithms look at your title? Just for background before Lucas. So for our viewers, we knew for A9 and A10 algorithm, the keywords that you had on the title were heavily balancing the algorithm understanding of your relevancy for the search query, right? So now it's going to be two parts of the title and item highlights. Do you think, it's not published, but do you think this will have any impact on the algorithms?
Well, definitely there will be different weights. I think titles now will be even, these 75 characters will be the real key for ranking. On the other hand, I think the approach of rewriting the full titles that we had over the past 6 to 9 months, where we were adapting our approach to titles, focusing on the way people are browsing today through LLM, I think that will be unchanged. So definitely there will be different weights. So these 75 characters are even more key than they were before. But then in the 125 of the subtitle, as you called it, plus the bullet points, there will be still space for use cases, technical specs. So I think the approach of zero fluff but more data is even more will be even more impactful.
Yeah, we have been seeing, and we train on that on the course, the importance of adapting your content now for the new reality of Alexa for shopping, and that is a key fundamental adaptation that thousands and millions of agents need to do as we speak, and mostly nobody is. So a very small percentage, no? So I believe, I agree with you. So this would be more or less as it is today. So the impact on the, let's say, more keyword-based algorithms, A9, it will remain the same. It's still 200 characters, split now in 2 groups. But I believe what Amazon is also pointing out is that this subtitle, this item highlights, official name, should be the place where you are pointing out to the Cosmo algorithm, the AI algorithm, what your product technically is about, what your product use cases is about. And I remember in our times in Procter & Gamble, when Amazon even mentioned that they were going to automatically change some content, a small portion of the content of our PDPs.
That was a worst nightmare.
It's like, no, I mean, the content of my PDP is holy. So you cannot touch it. And in truth, I mean, why we a big brand like Procter and Gamble would allow Amazon AI to touch their content. Maybe they do it worse. Amazon, of course, they think that by default they are going to do better, but maybe they do worse. And then it was a big weight on this freaking out behavior of what if Amazon says something wrong about my product? I can be held responsible with consumers if they are saying something wrong, some wrong use case or some wrong specification. So we were really worried about that.
So from back then till today, I think the automatization had improved globally. So I think that the approach for brands, of course, it depends from case to case, but I think many brands are still pretty strict from this point of view. Honestly, if I were even one strong brand, I would give it a try to the Amazon automatic update of this title. So
maybe do an A/B testing, no?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
check some, and then others you allow Amazon, and then you see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not on your bestseller, because I believe on your bestseller you want to decide what to write in these 75 characters. But I definitely I would run an A/B test, and I think on our brands, the brands we manage on Amazon, we definitely run A/B tests with smaller ASINs, long tail ASINs, to see what is Amazon recommendations. And also would be great to monitor strictly what Amazon does with its own brands, like all these is private label brands, to understand also what is the balance, and how do they expect the balance between the title and the highlights section.
Whatever the scenario that our viewers take, sellers and vendors, you need to understand that this is a call to action from Amazon side. So either you act, and that's a choice, and I believe 70% of the people will not even hear the news, so they will find it to a seller central or vendor central the day of deployment.
Yeah.
Or you decide consciously not to act, as Luca was saying, and we will be running some A/B testing, but that is your call. That is your call. But there is a call to action from Amazon side that we wanted to point out this week.
Because one thing is for sure, on July 27th, so in a month from now, some things will change radically in the organic search in Amazon. So that would be it would be interesting to have another session commenting on this news in a month from now, beginning of August, just 3-4 days after the change is on, to see the impact on the products we manage, or like analyzing some use cases.
We'll be commenting on the updates on this front and many others every week on this news summary. And of course, if you want to be really updated with us, subscribe or like, so this video will keep appearing for you. Now, look, I have a second one for you that is Prime Day results. And particularly, I would like to focus on AI usage during Prime Day. So just a great segue from the previous conversation. And AI, as we identified before, is AI, so Amazon Alexa for shopping, AI algorithms of Amazon Cosmo, is the real unknown for most of the operators in Amazon. Okay, so we want to really focus there. In the upcoming weeks, we will be posting a lot of content on how you need to adapt to this, because this is happening, guys. Let me show you the next new, and then we'll be seeing that in real numbers. Okay, Luca. So here we have like AI traffic during Prime Day that happened from the 23rd to the 26th of June grew nearly 100%, actually 98.3, and convert much better than every other sub channel within Amazon, with a 50.7% bigger conversion versus any other channel. Wow. The news will be posting that on the copy of this video, so you can scan through. But Luca, I believe that two numbers are already big enough to comment, no?
Yeah, sure. So the event in general did go well for Amazon, not brilliantly, I would say. They grew year over year around like single digit, like 5%. But everybody was looking at this subset of data, because last year, in the last peak events, Amazon's AI-driven traffic was not outperforming the ordinary search-based traffic. So this was the real test also, because Amazon has been updating a lot its AI algorithm like Cosmo, also the rebranding of Rufus into Alexa. We've seen much more touch points of Alexa for shopping in the platform recently. So this was the first big event where Amazon was very intentional in this focus. And to be honest, I had expectations, but I didn't expect such data, like a 50 plus extra conversion rate versus average versus other channels is huge. But also all of the other KPIs that were mentioned in the blog post. So how much time customers that got into the platform leveraging Alexa for shopping, they spent more time, they bought more premium, they converted better. It seems like this is like the revolution that's already happening in other channels. It finally got to Amazon the same way as it got a few years ago when they fully leveraged their Prime program. So this data, the premiumness of all of these KPIs reminds me the premiumness of all of the Prime users versus ordinary users that we had to manage a decade back.
I mean, reading this new, it came to my mind a meeting that we had with Amazon when we were in Procter & Gamble. At European level, it was these big Amazon leaders coming to Procter & Gamble in Geneva, Switzerland, and it was 2.5 years ago. So it's all gone. So it's no secret what I'm about to say. I mean, I can't disclose that. And they were telling us, when Rufus was just starting, they were telling us, we are building up the next wave of ways of shopping, no? And this is going to be a truly shopping assistant for people, okay? At this moment in time, it was ChatGPT starting up and thriving, and Amazon Rufus back in the time, and Amazon AI was kind of like lagging a little bit. So people was hesitant. I mean, what is Amazon going to be able to do, no? And I believe now, particularly with the rebranding and it's presenting more placements throughout the website, Amazon is really now doubling down on this. And we saw in relation with the growth that you mentioned. So Prime Day last year, it was tiny growth, so not that much interaction, but it was the beginning. Black Friday was massive increase. We were already seeing a 50% extra traffic. We were already seeing data points on extra improvement of conversion. And this has been really the big boom of the artificial intelligence usage when a big event is happening, no? So, and I fully understand that. So if you start to trust the technology more and more, and Amazon knows you very well. I mean, you have Alexas in your bathroom, in your bedroom, in your kitchen. They know what you do. They know how you behave. They know how you browse. So they know everything about you. So if you start trusting them more and more as a shopper, you will be trusting Alexa for shopping more and more, which means that you are going to allow them to recommend you in a short list of 5 products, because this is the output of our recommendation is normally 5 products. It's not a page 1 full with 24 products and then page 2, etc. It's 5 products that are super curated, that you need to make sure your product, for whenever the search is relevant, the question from the shopper appears there. And people is not ready. Sellers and vendors are not ready for that. They keep thinking on the keyword stuffing old world of 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. This is changing, guys. I mean, you need to get your agents adapted to artificial intelligence. Otherwise, these people that is moving to AI is not going to see you, never again. So the rules of the game are changing. The board game of Amazon is changing. You need to keep up with the change.
So no big surprises here. On the other hand, I think, so peak events are always used by Amazon to either launch innovations in the market or boost some new features. And I think it would be extremely interesting to see how now the rollout goes and how much it does accelerate in terms of different features that Amazon will release in the near future. Because I believe this 4 or 5 months we have before the Black Friday and end of the year season will be extremely interesting to see how much more the search will be disrupted. And I think linking this news with this post with what we just commented, I think it's very coherent that Amazon, cuts on titles, and who knows what's gonna come next. I mean, I expect some changes also in bullet points. Honestly, that's too much text that we are allowed to add in product detail
Who's
pages.
reading the bullet points these days, Luca?
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody,
So
right?
The logic of keyword stuffing that we were applying just 1 year ago on titles, now we just, we had to be more efficient in writing titles, and we, shifted all of these keywords that we cannot use there on the bullet points. And now I believe, this will be pointless very soon. So we don't have restricted info. It's just our point of view.
But so I'm going to answer to my question. Who is reading the bullet points? I tell you who. Cosmo. And Amazon Alexa for AI.
Yeah.
It's the only one. No shopper is reading the bullet points. Only Alexa for shopping. So you better have your technical specs there, your use cases in super coherency with the rest of your PDP content, including images, including text on images, including A+ content. That's the new rule of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be having an update like that on news, a couple of news, 3 news every week. So please follow for more like that. Thank you so much.
Stay in touch. Thanks.